Hello, SOM friends. Welcome to our first ever virtual chef series. We've got some special guests in the house this evening. I am flanked by Chef Grant and Chef Cody from 360 Catering. They will be producing this evening a fantastic salmon dish that's going to net you 2 meals. Your family will not even know that they are having leftovers the second night. They are both incredibly tasty and very unique. We will also have this evening our very own SOM professor, Mike Burness, who is our wine aficionado. He will be walking us through a couple rosés to start our evening. And then he has his beautiful wine sampler this evening, and that's Judy Burness. So we will start with them. They're going to talk about some rosés. Then we'll come over for our salmon instruction. And then we'll close out the evening with Mike and Judy again, and they're going to review some reds that will go perfectly with the salmon dishes that we're going to make. So without any further ado, I'm going to let these two gentlemen take over. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to start with rosés. We've got to have a little pre-drinking while we are preparing our salmon dishes. So I'm going to let Mike and Judy lead us in that charge.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome everybody. Thank you, Judy, for being here. It's nice to be sharing this with my sister.
It's hard work trying to taste all the wines.
So we bought 4 different wines for this. And if any of you looked on the invitation, there's a word file that has the different wines and a little bit of their descriptions. We got them from Camp Bowie, down Camp Bowie, Goody Liquor, which almost anybody has access to. And we ordered them through Drizzly, which is an app that within 1 hour, they delivered it all to your house for free. We chose rosés today because it's getting warm out there. And what do people like to drink in the summer? Beer, okay, but sometimes a nice rosé. So the first one is Josh.
Delicious.
We've already sampled a little bit. For me, I'm a real red wine drinker, so rosés are a little bit light. Everybody's going to have different wine tastes, so it's up to you to determine what you like. It's called Josh because the winemaker is in honor of his father. His name was Joseph. So it's fruity, it's light, it's nice to smell. If you have a wine glass, the way to do it is to swirl it to get some of the aromas out. And don't put your nose on the bottom because that's where you get the alcohol from the smell. When you do it, if you've seen people taste wine, they put their nose on the top, right in the middle, and that's where you get a little bit more of the smell. So this smells a little crisp. We put out a selection while we're sampling here and the chefs are cooking of cheeses, some fruits, some breads. For me, this works great with a cracker. This is a sweet potato cracker from Central Market with some bread. We tried it even with some pickles because it's great for salads. Sharp cheeses, no. It does not work well at all. Ooh, that was really bad. So we're not going to wait and try Josh with our mac and cheese dish that we have today. We're going to maybe have some Kim Crawford with that, or we're going to have our Mayomi, which is a really beautiful red. I put that on your list. Almost everybody likes it. It's a Pinot Noir. It goes with almost everything. It's a very good bottle to bring anywhere. A nice smooth taste. And finally, we have our Conundrum, which is a heavier red, that's more in the style we like, with the sharp cheese. That's gonna be fantastic.
The brie also goes really well. So try a little brie cheese, it's creamy, that goes really well with the rosé.
So drink up a little bit. We'll come back to you, or us, in a little bit after we get done with the chefs.
Perfect, thank you guys. Let's head to the chefs.
Well, hello, this is, I'm Cody Hickman. I'm the owner of 360 Catering and Events. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a baked salmon with a garlic honey glaze, a Florentine mac and cheese, and a citric apple slaw. I wanna show you right now the different colors of our salmon. On this side I have my fresh salmon that we're gonna show you how to brine that in just a moment. This is our brined salmon. So I just want to show you that real quick, just so you can see the different colors of what it looks like after we brine our salmon. This will help keep that moisture out of the salmon once we brine it. So we're gonna put it in there at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. So, 1 second. So we're gonna show you how we do our brining. We're gonna first put our cumin, our garlic powder, our smoked paprika, salt, and brown sugar. We'll mix that all together. I like to use my hands. You can use a whisk if you like, but for me it just goes a little bit faster, a little bit quicker that way, and I like to get a little dirty in there as well, so kind of just have a little fun with it. What the brining process or the curing process is doing by putting this brine on here is actually extracting all the moisture out of the salmon and also getting that deep flavor of all the brining ingredients. So once we've gotten all the brining ingredients mixed together very well, we're gonna make a thick crust on our salmon. So you'll really pack it in on the salmon. And you're gonna do it on both sides. You want a very thick crust. Thank you. Appreciate it. So you see I'm putting a very, very thick crust on it. I'm using the excess brine so we don't waste the brine. And really, like I said, pack it in there. And get the edges as well, the sides of the salmon. And then that's when we're gonna put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. We like to do it overnight. You can do as little as 6 hours, 4 hours, but this is gonna work well overnight. And then we'll take it back out once the brine is set and wash that brine off. And that's what you had, we put all it in the oven. I'm gonna introduce Chef Grant. He's gonna show you how to do all the rest of the ingredients. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Grant with 360 Catering and Events. I'm the executive chef, so I'm always responsible for the food we make for every meal. It's a lot of fun, a lot of responsibility, but today I get to share it with you, so I hope you enjoy that. I do tend to consolidate things a little bit, so don't mind me if my steps get a little active. I'm gonna go ahead and start the cream for our Florentine. We need to make sure it's nice and thickened and warm, so that way when we incorporate the cheese and everything else, it'll actually thicken itself very nicely in just a couple minutes.
Of course.
So we're going to start off with our butter. We do put butter tabs down since it is going to be a cream sauce anyway. This is going to mix very beautifully, but you don't want to heat up too terribly high because if you do, that butter can kind of brown and burn. So once that gets going, I've got my glaze pan on warm as well. This is going to take olive oil. Turn the heat up a little bit on that when that starts to get warm. But right now, we're going to go ahead and do our coleslaw. The slaw we can actually do and set in the refrigerator while the rest of our sauces are going and the salmon is cooking. So I have some lovely ingredients. We've got our red cabbage, our Granny Smith apple, and then red bell pepper. Now I have these matchsticks, which essentially just means just like that. Shredded cabbage, which I'll show you a neat trick. I never get to show this to anybody, so I was really excited about this opportunity. Everybody cuts these with knives. Becomes kind of a hassle if you have a potato peeler. That's the easiest and best way to evenly shred red cabbage or green cabbage. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix all of our vegetables and our fruit. Your mixing bowl.
Quick question, do you guys need to cover the salmon when you put it in the refrigerator for your 24 hours?
No, but I will tell you that one thing you do need to do is put it in a glass bowl, a glass container or a plastic container. You don't want it on any metal. Now you can see us using metal, but we also use parchment paper at the kitchen, so that separates the metal from the salmon. Never marinate any salmon or chicken on metal.
Thank you guys.
If you add my cream. Now that my pan's hot, that butter is melted and the garlic is in to soften, we're just going to go ahead and add the cream now.
I've just become the beautiful assistant.
I know. We need to see a couple of these. Okay, guys, so for all the liquid that we're going to use for our citric apple slaw, add your orange juice, your apple cider vinegar, your orange zest, your Dijon mustard, and your honey. Always have a spoon for the honey because it will try and fight you. What you're going to do is you're going to incorporate these ingredients together, try and get all that honey so you get all that flavor. Incorporate those. Cool. Just like Cody, I like to get my hands involved. And I like to fling things. So this is going to be a really colorful, very bright slaw to kind of accent the color of your salmon, as well as the green and the mushroom color for the mac and cheese. All right, so got my glaze ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and add honey. Based on whatnot. Lemon juice. And just a little bit of warm water. Stir that up. Let that kind of mix in. Get your lemons in first so they can get a little bit of coloration on them. While our cream is heating up, mushrooms into the mix so they can cook. All right, so you can see that I've already got a nice little bit of char on here. This was deliberate, so that way those lemons can take on that flavor from that garlic. And now, as it's heated up, add in the remaining sauce from the glaze. And just gently stir everything together. And you're gonna let that cook. You're gonna be able to smell that honey when it hits the heat, but you wanna let it reduce until it gets just a little bit thick and almost syrupy, and that's gonna be our glaze. Now, let's take a look, see how we're doing over here. So you can see the cream is already starting to steam up. You don't want to get it too hot. Cream will curdle. So you want to go ahead and lower the heat just a little bit. I tend to like to add my black pepper now, just so that it doesn't come as a surprise later. And I know from the look of it that I can see it's already incorporated in there, and we get a little bit of the pepper flavor out of the deal. So, a few more stirs. I don't know if you can see with my big pot here, but it's already starting to boil a little bit, but it hasn't quite thickened. We're gonna let it sit for just one more minute on there. And as you can see, my liquid's starting to thicken over here as well. But don't be afraid, just let it go. All right, so I have a boil on my cream. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it completely off of heat. I'm gonna add my cheeses. So my Parmesan, my cheddar cheese, and my mozzarella. Always gotta have the mozzarella with the Florentine. It does not work otherwise. So you're gonna slowly and evenly stir everything together. That cheese will start to melt and then grip. So as you move, just let it go. Let it go very evenly and slowly. Now the secret to making good from home mac and cheese, if you can see the cheese starting to string, you're about right. You can always use a little bit more, but we tend to have to do it down just a little bit for bulk orders. But as you can see, it's starting to incorporate beautifully. And you don't want to do this on the heat. That will start to brown and possibly burn the bottom of the cheese. Not to mention, we're gonna dump our spinach in, because we don't want this to wilt too much. We just want it to soften just a little bit in that sauce. And you can see how that cheese is just holding on for dear life at this point.
And one thing to point out, I don't know if you noticed that he had a towel off to the side. That way you don't burn your beautiful countertops when you put that hot pan on away from the heat. It's always nice to have that there. And also good for quick spills just in case.
All right, once everything is incorporated in here, once again, we don't really need to cook the spinach long. Dump in our pre-prepared noodles for time's sake. Give it a nice good stir, but you can see that mac and cheese just thick. All right, so this is ready to go. Let's take a look at our glaze. Stop sticking to all my utensils, that would be great. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat up on this for just 1 minute to get it to a full boil, and that should thicken it the rest of the way up. All right. And we might have a minute to talk about wine while this finishes up and I start getting the salmon plated.
All right, welcome back. We've been trying several different wines. The Kim Crawford, we have worked very nicely with the brie because it's a very soft cheese, not too tangy. We tried again the hard cheddar. Just did not go well at all. We did try some fruit, some berries. It worked okay.
Blueberries.
But blueberries and raspberries. When you smell the Kim Crawford though, you get a little bit of strawberry, you get a little bit of watermelon scent. After the fruit, it's gone. Or after the cashews, it's gone. So you have to cleanse it a little bit. So we were saying that we actually both enjoyed these two wines today, more than we did when we tried them first on Saturday. And if it's a nice day outside, maybe just having the wine by itself is a way to go.
Just especially on a warm day, a nice cool glass of wine, pretty tasty.
We're interested to see how the red wines may work. In general, people don't have red wines with fish. So the Pinot Noir, the Meiomi may be something that works. It'll work great for us. We like red wines, so we like red wines mostly from Napa, from Paso Robles, from California. French wines, they have a little bit too much they call earth to us. So tobacco, ground leaves, a little bit harsher. Australian wines are very nice also. All right, enjoy.
All right, my glaze is finished. Our plate is almost finished getting compiled.
So we like to put a nice little bed of the slaw, the citric apple slaw, and then our Florentine, and then voila, there's our salmon dish for that night. So a nice elegant dish to have and enjoy with your family. And then he's gonna tell you about how you can turn this into seconds for tomorrow.
Now the beautiful thing about this dish is the way that it's cured, all those deep flavors to it, you can very easily substitute it, change it up just a little bit, and kind of bring out some of the differences that we have allowed to soak into and cure into it. So, salmon tacos, excellent next day
Come
dish.
taste. Come on, you gotta taste this.
So, for whatever
Incredible.
fillets you have
Knows what he's
left,
doing.
you'll slice them down, serve them on corner flour tortillas, pretty easy. You can use a little bit of that slaw underneath, place the salmon on top, and then we've also included a recipe for a jalapeno and corn relish. Make that, put it on top. The sweetness and the spice from that relish is gonna bring out every different aspect of this fish that you really weren't expecting.
It's a little
to see.
cheesy, you know.
He never feeds me like this in our kitchen.
Never. She's a lot prettier. So again, thank you all for joining us at our SOM Chef Series. Please, if you have any upcoming events, small or large, we'd love to help you at 360 Catering events. And coming soon, in the coming months, we'll be opening up 360 Smoke Shack. So please join us there. I believe they're going to talk a little bit more about the Amy. You got any more? she's still eating. I started feeding her and now she won't stop.
Okay, so I wanted to, let me ask you guys one quick question. When you do your salmon tacos, do you guys have a preference? Because I never know. Corn tortillas, flour tortillas. Is it just a preference?
If you really want to kind of settle the debate, white corn.
Okay,
I know.
there you go.
Yes.
Oh, it's a nice blend.
And I tend to like corn better than flour because flour gets too heavy. You want flour with like a beef or a chicken that's a little bit heavier, or beef, or meat, if you will.
Okay, and
And
the last.
also, one last thing, I forgot to tell you this. You can also smoke the salmon as well. So if you want to do the whole fillet that you get at, say, Sam's or Costco or whatever, you get the big fillet and pack it that way. You can also use your smoker about 165 degrees for about an hour. It really doesn't, it's not one of those overnight long processes. And I like it actually better if you have a smoker. It's a little healthier as well. So.
Okay, and the last thing I'm going to ask about tortillas, because clearly I've got tortilla issues. When I have the hardest time heating, because I don't make homemade tortillas, I purchase them. I have the hardest time heating them, getting them right for fish tacos.
Okay.
What's my answer?
There's a variety of ways to do it. I'll tell you the easiest way to do it at home is just take a saute pan.
Okay.
Heat that about medium heat on your stovetop. Each tortilla, just put it down there, let it warm, flip it, let it
A
warm.
little butter maybe.
Okay. All right. That's something I haven't tried, so I will try that. Let's swing back over to the Burness clan and find out with our salmon tacos on night 2. What do you recommend for wine there?
Well, people would have white wine generally. I prefer the Meiomi. We did open these a little bit ahead of time. If you're just opening your bottle, that first taste sometimes isn't quite what you really want. So you need to pour it out a little bit, and as it grows and as it airs out, it'll develop a little bit more. So when we swirl this, oh, that's such a nice smell.
So good.
So good. That makes it's more intense, it's deeper than the rosés. The rosés definitely have their place, just like white wine. People love white wines too, but that really makes a difference for me. I'm interested to try some of the mac and cheese with the Meiomi, and then we'll work on the conundrum. Like we said, you can buy these at Goody Goody. In fact, even the conundrum, Judy just got a bottle at Costco for less than $20, I think.
I think it's $20.99.
So they're available most places. We picked wines that were very accessible.
And tasty.
And tasty. I have to say it smells absolutely delicious here. So what we are missing is you guys. We'll all be back together sometime soon, and we will continue our chef series live and in person. But we so appreciate you guys being with us this evening. Hopeful that we can do some more chef series over the next couple months. Maybe we'll use some of our internal chefs. So if there's, I may put a call out. So if you're interested and you've got a favorite dish you'd love to prepare, we'd love to have you. So thank you guys. We appreciate the time, and we're grateful that you joined us. Have a good evening.